So last time you guys, so much fun stuff. Pyru got into the library and learned more about the teleportation and also discovered that there was some ancient books close to the start of civilization of Draconicus. And in Draconic, but yet also considered actually Old Draconic. To where people haven't been able to fully translate everything in the book. There are a few scholars that they had mentioned, but they're far and wide between. And then Whiskey decided to go to an actual wizard to see if there was anything he could understand about teleportation, how to prevent those spells from occurring, from your local neighborhood shopkeeper, Gary.
Your friendly neighborhood shopkeeper.
Gary Gadgets.
And during that point, Whiskey decided to actually ask Gary on a date, and he obliged, and you guys went on a date to the Berry Tavern. And once you returned, you had a great evening. You returned back to his shop and you decided to depart afterwards after saying a witty little line and returned back to the inn, where the next morning you guys met up with Peacekeeper Lamont, Commander Milbar, and you also encountered at that meeting several people, of which were either from the guard, the captain of the guard was there, and some of his people, as well as several other adventurers, probably leaders of those adventuring parties. And you guys were just informed that there were probably about 100 to 150 enemy people on the hill, from which Gillian was able to gather, and most of which were of the goblins, bugbear and hobgoblins, the scent, but a few others were covered in robes and she could not distinguish. But there was somebody in charge towards the top of the hill, near a tent that they had set up, and several boxes as well. So, with that point, I believe you guys are needing to decide how to go about this. So yes, meeting, go.
Okay. So to my point that started all this, I just wanted to ask if anyone remembers what was, or if DM remembers what was already discussed, because I know we didn't just sit down and introduce and then talk about nothing. Like,
so you were introduced to everybody, and then Gillian, she is part of Commander Milbar's scout regiment, is a good way to put it. And she informed you guys that there were about 100 to 120, 50 units of people near the hillside, and explained that at least the person in high command is over up on the top of the hill near the tent that they have set up there. And there are a few barricades along the way up the hill. And that was as far as we got. You guys haven't figured out anything else.
I remember she talked about she noticed like some tents with some possible people of high priority.
Yeah, that's at the top of the hill.
Yeah,
that's at the top of the hill.
Okay.
So that, and then the fact that there were some boxes at the top of the hill as well.
All right. I remember we asked about the boxes, and she was like, "I don't know, they just look like regular boxes."
Yes.
I seem to remember us talking something about possibly getting to stealthing to those tents.
Yes. So like I don't remember that exactly because we more or less stopped there. So.
Right. Okay.
But so that is what this is about now. You guys can now talk and I can input in anything, but I'm not going to try and persuade you guys with my like the 10 characters I have in there. They will just be there to help support. They will mention maybe a couple of things, but you guys don't have to take those action. So but you guys go ahead and I'll interject when I need to.
Okay. Well,
seems like our priority is to find these weapons that we're almost certain are going to be in use. Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Just blow up
and she didn't mention any weapons or anything like that, right? She didn't see anything of the sort.
Correct. All she saw that there were boxes and that they were unloading the boxes, but she could not see from the distance she was at to stay hidden what was in said boxes.
I bet that's the key. Those boxes.
We should set them on fire.
Well, yes, that's a start.
Sabotage.
Seems to me.
I do have a spell that might help us get up there.
What's that?
Pass without a trace.
So Gillian then starts to talk about the geography of the terrain, which is most of the area right near the hillside is pretty open. The hill itself doesn't have any trees, but a little bit further away, probably about 80 feet or so, are like 80 to 100 feet. It's the more dense area. But once it gets to that distance, 80 feet from the bottom of the hill, the trees are very sparse in between and then becomes even less once you get closer to the hill.
Does anyone have a spell perhaps that changes their form?
Yes.
What do you mean
have
by
the shape.
One sec.
What do you have in mind?
The female elf, a half elf, Arda, which you guys recognize from the female party of adventurers. She mentions, I have one member of my party that can also shapeshift.
I'm just wondering that if we did pass without a trace, but also did some sort of disguise, that maybe they might not pay attention to us. I mean, if you just look like any woodland creature, or tree or something, I don't know.
Commander Bilbar now chimes in and says, that's not a bad idea, but the fact is that you'll have to fool over 100 of these enemies. And I think the best course of action for that would be to have some of my party and some of the guards as well
cause a
distraction. Cause a distraction and kind of create an attack on both of their sides, causing them to kind of split up their forces, allowing for more people, like maybe a small group, your party and maybe Arda's party, since they have the shape-shifting ability as well, to get in through that
Yes.
gap.
That way we can pull a
If-
more door.
Sorry.
We can pull a more door.
I thought that's what you said.
I'm just going to ignore that. If I may,
Go
No.
ahead, Storm.
I'm definitely on board with the way you're thinking. It just seems to me that it might be a good idea to attempt to neutralize whatever the hell is in those boxes before we make our presence known, period.
Yes, but as they are explaining, that's not possible without the enemies there.
What if we did this tonight under the cover of dark?
Do we know if
much-
they're going to wait that long?
Same problems still exist, I think.
So, DM to players, they are more or less supposedly set to attack on the morning of tomorrow.
Yes, that's what
Okay.
that's what-
Yes. So right now it is technically the fun terminology of the eve of Miroslav.
Not confusing at all.
I know, so great.
It's the 24th, guys.
23rd, not the 24th. Technically,
I
if you
do
go
agree.
Christmas
no,
version.
I mean tomorrow is the 24th.
Mm.
The
I
day
do-
of the attack.
I do agree that we want to attack before they attack, but we still have to draw their forces away if we want to destroy those boxes.
Right.
I don't know that we'd be able to sneak around with them there. Not entirely, at least.
I'm gonna turn to oh God, where are my notes? What's the name of the one that was the scout?
Gillian.
Gillian. Yes. So I turn around and say, well, you've been there. You've seen for yourself the layout and terrain and everything. Feels like you should be the one to decide how successful a stealth infiltration before any kind of distraction would or wouldn't be.
Well, I think a pure stealth would be extremely difficult without some sort of distraction, just because of the amount and the fact that there isn't thick cover near the actual hillside itself. The problem is not just getting to the hill, but it's actually getting to the top of the hillside where this commander and these boxes are that you say that you think is the weapon.
Right. Well, there is, I suppose.
Not saying I don't know your guys' skill, but it would be pretty difficult itself, and a smaller party would be a little more successful, but still very difficult.
Well, our skill is
Yes,
one thing,
I'm-
but I think our execution leaves some room to be desired.
Speak for yourself. I'm quite confident in my stealth skills, but it won't be just me going in there. So,
That is very funny.
hmm?
That you think you're that stealthy.
Oh, damn it! I know you're true.
If
But I just-
anyone
but I-
did show you
but
up
I
last
don't-
time.
But I don't know that you know.
I'm more referring to the Eric. You weren't actually there for this one, but your character did walk through.
Fucking
trip
goddamn. Then that doesn't
Trap
count.
right in that trip.
That doesn't count.
But it does count.
Oh,
No,
the
it doesn't.
mushrooms?
Yes, it does.
No, not the mushrooms.
What?
What?
He
What was it?
walked into the entrance of a cave and tripped a trap, and
Oh, yeah!
Well, that's not stealth.
We're like, let Eric go ahead.
That's just stupidity.
Same
Same
dude.
difference.
Didn't I check for traps and miss it?
Nope.
No,
you just
Oh, That's not my fault.
Oh,
Yeah,
sure,
it is.
sure.
No, it's not. You guys didn't have me check
Eric,
for traps.
Eric, it doesn't matter if it's your fault. It's what your character did, though.
It's all your fault, Shafa.
Sure.
I
Okay.
finally get that reference.
Oh, did she watch Twisted?
Yeah.
Oh my god. Yes. Good job.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway.
Well, to Whiskey, I just kind of blink unknowingly. And to Daria, that was an eyesight thing.
Oh, yeah, my
Anyway,
eyes weren't working. Off switch.
Do we
Also,
have any? Oh, sorry.
sorry. Last time I forgot to mention that Broppy is also in there. I forgot.
yeah,
to-
you told us.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay,
We just
good.
assume he's there.
Yes, he was
Broccoli's
though.
always there
We
for
generally assume he's always there when we need him.
Even when we're sleeping.
He literally is, though.
Just watching us out the window.
Might
Maybe
be-
he was under the other bed.
It's when you're sleeping.
Oh god.
That's when
He's
you're.
not
Oh,
Santa.
God.
It's not Christmas yet.
Yeah, please no.
All the stores act
Yeah.
like it is. And it, do we have any like catapults or any weapons of that sort?
Peacekeeper Lamont now chimes in, going, "Our country hasn't seen war for years. We're not situated for an onslaught of enemies for
Seems
like
like
an
an
actual
oversight.
Oh, you.
I just blink owlishly at
funny
him,
people.
like with this "Are you serious?" look.
You have to remember, based off the history of the country, though, you've had 800 some years of peace.
Still.
Like they
I'm
have the manpower and stuff, but this isn't a huge city.
There's
This
no
is
industry
small.
for war machine,
like,
essentially.
Yeah, this is also a small kind of city. It's not like Dryce, the
eccentric
country, like, the
inventors who's
capital
like-
or anything.
Made
I
war
know.
machines nearby.
I'm just like like thinking of all the places I've been to, and like they have a lot of knowledge, so they should know that there's danger out there. And I'm just like, pirates, just like, oh my god.
And all I can think of is the dangerous and horrifying place that I grew up, where no village, not a single village would not have some sort of
It's like,
fortification or armed.
yeah, it's like even if you're not expecting war, you should be prepared for it just in case. But yeah, I guess 800.
But based on your guys' knowledge, also, the further north you get, rigorous the actual protection and like the security and whatnot is, because that's closer to the country of war, Ahiban. But right there, central mainland, like it's not really ever thought about a battle, a war of great aptitude just spurring out of nowhere.
Yeah, that's like, I'm like,
Oh dear.
well,
Well,
that's just terrific. Like that would have been very useful. Okay.
So
Never mind.
General, if you feel confident that you and your men can provide a adequate distraction against this many beasties, and if you think that you can handle them, I don't see why we couldn't pull a door, whatever she called it.
what?
What?
I didn't
Mordor.
understand a word of that.
Oh, Mordor.
Mordor.
Yes.
Oh, okay. I got it now.
Gotcha. Sorry.
Hodor.
Hold the door.
That's what you get for
Hold
you
the door.
using out of universe references, Cat.
Uh,
I like
But,
to think that it's a popular novel.
Yes.
Sure. I'm not from here.
I just discovered that libraries are a thing, so
Yeah.
I will fight to save this library.
That's nice. I'm
Um,
sure there's more though.
Don't understand.
There's books everywhere. They gotta be like the same, right?
No, you heathen.
Not
Here,
excuse-
read a
Yeah,
book.
so-
Educate yourself.
I have 2 books actually that I borrowed.
More than she's
Oh,
ever read.
darn it. Okay, I really don't want the town we're in to be destroyed, because then I don't get my money back from the library.
Yeah. Or that
That's why
nice fountain.
that's your motivation.
That is my motivation. That's the entirety of my motivation.
Dear God.
You also really like that fountain.
True. But you know what would be better?
Hmm.
A lake.
That is true.
Or like the ocean.
The
Or like
ocean's
the
a
river
bit
where I
far.
live. Where I live, I can speak.
So I still pose my question to the general. I mean, if you think your men can pull this off, I don't see why we couldn't give it a go.
Commander Milbar mentions he has 7, including himself, but Captain Fajal, the captain guard, says that he has 40 people that he thinks will help the endeavor. And Peacekeeper Mont mentions that there are 15 adventurers that were willing to help out, which is part of Wars, Ilgar's, and Arda's parties. So Commander Milbar is that by splitting up to about 20 to 25 people in each group, one on the kind of southern area and one towards the eastern, attacking that way, that would create an opening for you guys, because then it would only be about a 2 to 1, maybe 3 to 1 encounter.
Oh, that's
Hmm.
not completely encouraging. But
Captain Fajal says that he has to leave some of his guard, which is why he can only spare about 40 of them, so that way he can evacuate the town.
right, like I said, 40, 50, if you feel that that's sufficient, that they're up to the task.
Well, it's not a matter of if we feel like it. We have to be.
Oh, of course, I'm not denying your resolve. I'm just making sure that we think that this is the best plan to go with. Using your fine men as a distraction while us sneakies go in and do the dirty work inside the camp. It seems solid enough.
Peacekeeper Mont actually goes towards a box near the corner of the room and says, well, this might at least help prolong anybody going down, perishing. And he pulls up this crate and puts it on the table, and he opens it, and there's a bunch of healing potions.
Ooh.
So
I have one of those.
So there's actually enough to where, because the guards, like the guard of the city town, they have their own stock, but this is for you guys, the adventurers. So he write down 2 minor potions of healing per person.
Oh.
Okay.
2 minor potions. Healing.
Hmm.
Now it becomes a matter of coordination. Some of us are going to be going up to the camp while the rest storm the camp at the bottom of the hill. How does the stealth party... Well, we just have to make sure that we're in position to get in the camp and get our boxes before the distraction happens, so that they can't get whatever's in said boxes and use them against you.
I can turn it into an animal if you want. I can turn into an animal if you want.
Can you?
Yeah, I could.
And Arda says one of her members can as well.
What do you think would be good? A cow?
A deer. Not gonna think
Deers.
anything of a deer.
It's like basic. How about an elk?
Yeah.
I don't see why. I don't see a problem with any of those. Anything that would suit you, I suppose.
Or a giant badger?
A giant badger.
We could position ourselves in the trees, away from the hill. At least those of us that don't look like creature furry things. And then wait there until the commander and his men make their attack.
So are you insinuating that we get into position and once we see, I guess, the 2 elks, then that is when we should attack? He kind of points to you, Daria, and also to Arda. Is that the signal?
I look over to Storm.
That's yes, sure.
Yes, sure.
That actually
All
wasn't
right.
what I had in mind, but that's a good idea, so I'm going to take credit.
Wow.
How about we set a fire and
Oh, I'm always up for setting fires.
I put my paw over her mouth.
I mean, I like water, but fire's pretty good too.
None of that from you, Pyro.
So,
Pyro the pyro.
Yeah, I'm calling you that.
so
Yeah,
should
yeah,
we
elk,
set up
elk.
an attack at night? Or
Yes.
just as dawn breaks?
I feel it'd be
like a
best to do
At
it as
night.
soon as possible.
yes.
Okay.
Catch them off guard.
Okay, because just in general, you guys have to remember, can your whole party see in the dark?
Yes.
No.
Oh no! Dang it, Daria can't. I thought we had all.
Nor Broppy as well.
Oh yeah, he's.
And
Good point.
and elks do not have night vision.
What about an owl?
Just,
Well,
I can't do anything that flies.
Oh,
we could wait till the
Yes.
break of dawn, but
the crack of dawn.
It's
it's worth keeping in mind that is supposedly when they plan to attack. So
Captain Fishal chimes in going, it is probably best if we can do it just at the crack of dawn, just so we aren't at any disadvantage, but yet we still have the surprise on them.
we should be able to use the cover of dark to get into position.
And they all, everybody at the table kind of nods their heads and yes, that sounds like a great plan. Sounds like something's coming too. So.
Well, look, we're not just talking about Mordor anymore.
Is everybody in agreement then?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay. And so Commander Milbar says that everyone should meet up at the northern gate, but everyone should meet up a little after dusk. Without further ado, then, we'll fast forward. At this point, you guys are meeting up at the entrance of the northern gate, and you see Brappy. You see him just in the distance talking to Arda and Kay and the other 2 members of their party, and he is actually in some different outfits. He's not wearing just a cloak anymore. He's wearing
Wait, all he was ever wearing was a cloak?
yeah.
and
brings
nothing
another
underneath.
Well,
and
he was wearing like
watching us.
God damn it.
he was wearing just the basic cleric cloak, like something very generic. But now he's wearing the same cloak, but it is now underneath his half plate armor. And yes, and he has his necklace now more visible on the half plate as well. Which roll a perception.
Ooh.
Hey, look at that.
Oh, cat. How dare you?
Hey, as long as
Storm
it's
got what mine roll normally is.
dear God.
So on the necklace is actually a reptilian eye on flames. That's what the necklace is. And if you want, you can roll knowledge religion if you are interested.
Knowledge or religion?
No, knowledge. Just roll religion.
There's no knowledge anymore.
I know.
No, you don't.
Can't do history.
It comes
where
up like
sucks.
every episode.
I can't do history. Fuck. Yeah. Yeah, Pyro does not know about religions very much, except for from a philosophical perspective.
Perspective. Oh my God.
Perspective.
Perspective.
Perspective. Which she was unable to determine what it was related to.
Okay, so it's still night.
Yes, it is nighttime. It was daytime earlier once the meeting was done. It was afternoon or so, late afternoon, and everybody was doing their final preparations, meeting at the gate, and then everybody will be dispersing into their groups to get into position. So
Who do we see?
you see Captain Fajal talking to the 4 officers that were at the meeting as well. Belsa, Baku, Thol, and Val. And they have their guard troops right there as well, which there were 17 dragonborns, 3 dwarfs, 4 half-elves, 2 half-orcs, and 8 humans, more or less comprised of that group. Then there was the adventuring parties, where you see 3 tabaxis, Kay, the dragonborn, tiefling, and 2 other dragonborns, as well as a dwarf in their group. They are talking to Commander Bilbar and Captain Vijal as well, and they are getting up to split up. Half of the guard troops are with Commander Milbar, the other half is with Captain Vijal, and the adventuring party groups have split up as well. But as mentioned, Arda's group is going to be part of your guys' small infiltration group.
I go stand by Kay
So
and say nothing.
Agent K.
and she kind of starts talking like a little bit of chit-chattering, like very, hi, I'm Kay.
Oh,
I don't
God.
think we've met.
I walk away and go right back over to the others.
Well, after that awkward display, I just so do we have, ladies, do we have a time frame?
Plan.
Like, Arda chimes in because she'd been talking to Captain Fajal a little bit ago, and she mentions that it's going to take a little bit of about an hour or so hike out into the area, and we'll set ourselves up, give everybody else a little bit of extra time. And once dawn starts approaching, then Daria, I believe your name was, and my cohort Kay will shapeshift into a pair of elk, and make their way towards the area to give the signal to everyone else.
Yes.
You should probably start heading off.
Yes. So
Don't have much time.
as you guys make your way, make stealth checks.
Oh, well,
Oh,
maybe
thank God.
Storm can carry the rest of us.
Maybe. Literally carry us.
I've high stealth,
Oh,
not
shit.
high strength.
Wait, you add your boots to that?
No, I did not.
Boots were made for stealth.
Okay. So Daria, you got a 6.
Oh,
Cat,
yeah.
12. Storm, a 23. And Whiskey with your adjusted, I believe it's 17. Well, luckily, Arda's group, as well as Brappy, they were able to carry.
Literally carry
The
us.
slack. Carry the slack.
So,
What that really means is that Lauren's rolls were, as usual, overpowered.
no, okay, most of them were, but there's a
Ah.
couple.
Dear God.
Hey, it's
Hey,
not
guys.
my
So
fault.
glad you're on our side.
Guys, at least she's getting them out of the way now.
I
Yeah,
know.
when they're for us.
And not when it's the enemies attacking us.
Right.
So, all right. So you guys make it to the edge of the forest area.
Boonch, boonch, boom, boom, boonch, boonch, boom, boonch, boonch, boom, boonch, boonch, boom.
All I see is black.
Yeah. Oh, dear.
There you go. It's the bottom right corner.
Oh, jeez.
Dear God, Lauren. What? You didn't have to rebuild Middle Earth for us.
Mordor!
Holy shit.
Hold the door.
Hold it
So
down.
yes,
Hold the
there's
door.
that. God, I really can't believe how they made this.
Like, I've got this window spread over 2 screens and it still can't
Whoa,
even.
what are all those icons?
People.
Yeah.
Guys.
I'm really far away. Okay, so there's us. There's her party. And
So
Yeah.
so who's
so-
everyone down in the corner?
this group right here, that is your group as well as Arda. Here.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Okay. In the northern is Captain Fajal's. In the top east corner is Captain Fajal and some of the adventures. And in the bottom left is Commander Milbars and some of the adventures and guards of it as well.
Oh, wow. Jeez.
So, yes.
And, you know, horses.
Yes. Yes. So you
There's
notice that there
horses?
were- yes, there are horses there.
There's many
and
horses.
you actually recognize them as the horses that were outside of the jailhouse just the
Oh,
other day.
shoot. Did we return that horse?
Yes, you did.
Okay.
You're so concerned about that horse.
Well, otherwise you'd have to pay more. So that's why I'm
Yeah.
concerned.
Sorry, not about that.
So
Very
And
little
now-
concept of books, high concept of money.
Medium
Now-
concept of money.
do you want to see
um.
what you all see?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would like to see what y'all see.
I want to see. What
Oh,
the people-
no.
Oh, so the map wasn't not loading. You just weren't showing us.
Correct.
Rude.
Jill can't see it all.
And
Oh,
just
Jesus.
for you guys to get a good idea of the distance from where you guys are.
Oh,
Oh, wow.
This is pretty clear.
Yeah.
This thing is
Pretty
ridiculously huge.
far.
So
Jeez.
yes. And this doesn't include the fact that there is an incline from the northern hillside
What?
here.
Oh, good.
Why are we
Oh,
approaching
good.
from in between the two groups?
You can decide. I'm just because they were gonna draw the groups separating, allowing a pathway.
Huh.
Yep.
But you can decide a different map.
I was under the impression that we would be
Going through the
approaching
back.
from basically the opposite side that we're on now.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine. We will
Like-
say that is where you guys are then. 'Cause I
Cool.
cannot do it. But there are
Yeah, that's
just
fine.
there are enemies on the other side as well.
Right.
Like right here is where
Uh-huh.
it kind of thins, there is still tree cover past here, just not an extensive amount, and that
Not
is
a dense
where-
forest anywhere.
Yes, that's where Gillian was mentioning that the tree line thinned there, and that's why like a pure
Stealth.
stealth
attack
wouldn't
wouldn't
work. Mm-hmm.
All right.
So
Okay. Well, do we feel like it's a good idea to come at the same angle that the distraction is coming from, or should we try to approach from the backside?
I think to me that we should come from a different angle.
Yeah.
From the back.
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we intended. That right? Have the focus of the enemy away from us, literally the opposite direction that we are coming from.
Draw the eye away.
Oh my god,
This-
no, cat.
Because right now what's
Sure.
happening is we got him from like two sides, like right to the left and right of us.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that's not really going to distract from us.
No,
No.
it's not going to do us any favors. So we should, quickly as we can, circle around, get to the opposite point, and then we can send the signal.
Okay.
okay.
So we're doing that.
Okay. Give me a minute.
Little
as
scutter.
as I adjust my map now.
We will be right back after we take a quick break. Welcome everybody to our break time where our players just need to grab some water, maybe some food, and get everything that they need to get ready before the second half of our show. Thank you for staying with us, watching our episodes, and giving us thumbs up and likes and everything and reshares. We really appreciate it. We are new and we are trying to minimize what voice issues that we are having. Our episodes do get better as we go along, as we figure things out. But in the meantime, we are using Roll20, an online app that allows us to play D&D since we're across the states, and also our audio is through Discord. Thanks again, and stay tuned for everything that is about to happen in this next half.
So
Hey,
we'll say
different
that you
campaign.
guys had informed the other people of this, and
We should have
Correct.
told them to just attack at dawn.
Probably.
so you guys could say you changed it to be that.
Yeah, just attack it, Dawn.
Okay,
So like,
sounds good.
Just-
so like as soon as the sun starts rising.
Yeah. The crack of dawn.
As soon as
Dot.
they are able to see, I guess is the
Okay.
better
Enough
way.
to
Okay.
attack.
On the morning
Right,
of the
right.
third day, look to the east.
It is not
No.
the third day; it's the morning of
I
the
know.
first day.
Cat is now 3 Lord of the Rings references in.
Of course.
Are we sure
No.
it's 3? I feel like we might have missed one.
It's
Uh,
3, precious.
Probably like no.
Oh, there's 4.
There's 4.
Well, if you count Mordor twice, then it's 4.
Do we want to get up to like right here? You said was where the dense cover ends.
Yes, right around there. Yep.
You
Absolutely.
guys want to get as close to that as possible, and then do the.
Absolutely.
I mean, I could technically cast invisibility at a higher level, but I could only do it on like 2 different people.
Yeah, I
besides
can
myself.
do pass without a trace on everyone within 30 feet.
You-
of me.
Well, you absolutely should do the invisibility thing as well.
I can only do it on myself and maybe 2 other people. Here's the question: who do I fucking pick?
Who of us is the least stealthy?
People that are with us. I mean, who among you is kind of like a powerhouse? I mean, not frontline powerhouse. I mean, magical powerhouse.
Arda will be
People
staying
at 'em.
back because she is a sorcerer, and then the other 3 will be frontal assaults.
Okay, so
Brocky
2 of
will
those
also
can
stay
go
with
with Whiskey, and I'll get the other ones who are coming forward.
Okay.
Maybe the Tabaxi and
And the tiefling.
Yes. All right, let's go.
Wow. Okay, so we are going straight up to those boxes.
Straight up.
The tree only
The
goes
family
straight
tree
up.
goes straight up.
That's how this works.
No branches.
You can all die. We're not gonna get anything done.
Too many
When did
fucking
you
Lord
think
of the
you
Rings
would?
references.
Bryce, that's the plan.
Yes.
We
So
get up there, take a look at the boxes, see what's in them, and potentially take out any leadership we might meet up there. But we're not
Yeah.
going until dawn breaks and we hear the distraction happen.
Yes. So we can now stand around and talk about our feelings.
I'm
No.
going to stand over here, just a little ways from everybody.
So, as the night goes on, you guys sit quietly, waiting for dawn to come. A light mist has come over the area when the temperatures had cooled off during the night. As the sun starts to rise up, you think you hear a faint call of "For Aadi! For Trevor!" and galloping of horses. And
Think that's our signal.
Let's go. Let's go.
Yes.
Cast your spell.
All right. So I cast Pass Without a Trace.
okay.
So
And
everyone needs to do
roll their
self
stuff.
checks.
Yes.
And right as they cast Pass Without a Trace, I will make us invisible.
So, what is happening is, as you guys were making your way up the hill, there was a little bit of an opening that you guys took advantage of.
Right.
The goblins and that couple of the cloaked figures had been looking away just at the right time, but then they hear a couple of footprints or like a rock being kicked, and they look towards you now. Also, you hear in the distance somebody up near the top of the hill saying, "Prepare the weapon. Start it up."
God damn it. I knew it. I fucking knew it, you guys.
It just so happened to have been at the same point that they had gained knowledge of you there. So you cannot determine it was you, but it was probably the other group, and they had already had the weapon already set up.
I tell the two that are with me, like the two that are with me, remind me again. What are they? What
One's
are
a
they?
monk.
Like, class? One's a monk. What's the other one?
Rogue.
I tell
So
them,
they're close range.
We can either. I whispered this to them. I was like, we can either stay here and help them, or we can stop them before firing off that weapon.
Whiskey, the tiefling says that she will go against the cloak and the goblin just south of you guys, angled just south, and get a sneak attack like on them, hopefully taking them out. And the monk should go with you to investigate. That way you have somebody to help, but she needs to help the group get past
Okay.
this right now. In the meantime, yes, you can do an action, but it would have to be an initiative round, but I will give you advantage on your initiative because they are turning around to see you.
Right.
Okay? So,
So I get advantage on ships.
So,
So-
would we be able to move in this time, or do we have to
I'm-
wait for while they're in initiative?
so at this point, you guys, Whiskey and this rogue, as well as the tabaxi, will get a sneak attack round because you are still invisible. Okay?
Okay.
And then roll for initiative after. Everybody else, roll for initiative with advantage. And we will go from there. Yeah, because normally initiative you never get advantage on. I am allowing that because of sneak opportunity that you guys has needed in partway. So, all right, this is going to be tons of fun for me.
Oh boy. For you. Yeah.
Okay. So,
So many characters.
oh, yes. Yes, indeed. And you don't even see half of like actually 2/3 of them right now because they're on the other side of this.
You should just
So-
make half of spontaneously combust.
Now,
Hey, spontaneous combustion is definitely a problem that they face with this like experimental weapon thing. So I think it should just backfire and
Yeah,
most of them should die.
Storm, you are first. You are right
Wait,
in front of a
assuming-
barricade.
Okay, so I was gonna ask you if I may be able to actually start from there, because
You could, but then they would get They would get a bonus to their AC from the barricade, and it would also be the same way, kind of against you being that close. So
well, okay, how tall is this barricade?
this barricade is about comes about to your waist. So.
I'm gonna leap over it and just plunge right into that goblin.
So you're gonna tackle it, grapple it.
No, I'm gonna jump over the barricade and stab it with my rapier.
Okay. You have to realize because you're. Okay, but they still get an AC bonus.
You'll run around it, jump around it, whatever, and just stab the thing.
Okay. So
In the back.
Full dash.
How rude.
roll an attack for your rapier and
Does it
and that
count as?
one. Really?
Does it
And that
count
one.
as flanking?
Pyru, you just saved him from a critical fail.
Jesus.
So lucky.
Fucking hell. That's the worst I've ever done with my sword.
Because I have some lovely cards that are for failures and for successes. So you got an 8 instead of a natural
You're
1.
welcome.
Take attack.
So your first attack is unsuccessful.
Yeah, I'll make my second attack with one of my daggers.
24 definitely hits with that attack. So as you try to go in with your rapier actually hits the backside of the barricade instead. But then you
God,
come across
fail.
with your dagger and you get him right there in the back. So that is a total of an 11. And with
Sweet.
that, pierce the backside. That goblin is now dead. And then Pyru is your turn now.
Oh,
But I
boy.
also didn't realize that's a person
There are 4 people up there.
there. Okay, yeah.
What,
I
the
didn't
black
realize
thing?
it.
There are
The red
2
thing.
black cloak. There is a red cloak. Like it's actually a black cloak as well. And there is
That's a
the
person?
person. Yes. And then
Oh.
there is that person by the tent. There are 4
Yeah.
up there.
I didn't realize that.
Weird.
But you guys don't have close enough perspective to actually see what they like, who or what they are or anything. So
They're just figures.
they're just figures because of the
Yummy.
incline. Or you can postpone your turn.
I will
hold your
wait for other people to catch up.
Okay. The rogue is now going to attack from behind the figure. And this cloaked figure here, who had a spear, actually goes down from her first attack.
Dang.
Next is Whiskey. Your turn.
I am going to do something. I'm gonna whisper to the monk next to me. It's like, look, I'm gonna do something, and I have to get a little bit closer. But once I do it, your invisibility's up. So make
ahead
the
and
most
save
of it.
So she responds going, go ahead and save him.
It's not so much about saving just them.
Oh god.
I'm moving. That's all I can.
Now it is Brappy's turn, and Brappy will move there, and he actually pulls out a scroll, and he actually casts a spell. And what you guys see, a large spectral guardian appears. It looks as if it's wearing full plate armor with a gleaming sword and shield. On the shield is an embolized symbol of a reptilian eye superimposed on flames. But that is his turn.
Sweet.
Great.
Why are you not happy? It's on our side.
Yes, it is on your side.
Ah, okay.
Kat, were you paying attention to who casted it?
Yes.
Okay.
Next
No.
is this hobgoblin's turn.
Apparently Dash was paying attention.
And he will be throwing a javelin at you, Pyru.
What?
I think a 13 misses you.
13. No, my armor is 12. But
Oh,
I do have deflect missiles.
Okay.
Thank God
Better
for being a
use that
monk.
shit.
Am I right?
Yeah, I can deflect or catch it. Yeah, I would catch it. And then if I want, I can use a key point to send it back.
do it.
That's up to you. So you just catch it.
Yeah.
You can decide to hold it or you can toss it to the
And I
side.
keep it.
I'm just gonna hold it for now.
Okay.
This is mine now.
This is mine now.
Scream that though. This is mine now, bitch.
This is mine now.
I just want to know what his expression on his face was like. Oh.
He looks more pissed off.
I think that may have been his good javelin.
It was his
Uh-oh.
precious.
Cat, no.
Okay.
God damn it.
The goblin hit the rogue, the tiefling, and hit her with his axe along the side, but she is still standing.
Yay.
And the other goblin just south of her so attacks but misses with his arrow.
Yay.
So next is Daria.
Oh, wow.
You got
Yeah.
this.
I don't got
Yes,
this.
no, good.
You don't got
I'm
this.
too far to do anything without wasting spells this early.
Well, fuck. No, I understand. I
Yeah, this is
understand.
not
your pain.
ideal spellcaster terrain.
No, it's not.
I can go right there to
Okay.
get kind of closer in case something happens. And
Okay.
that is my turn.
All right. Next is as soon as this cloaked figure comes up to the spectral form, it just gets blasted with radiant energy and falls
Wait.
unconscious.
Who does the cloak?
Yes.
Awesome.
This spectral the
Floppy.
spectral form just comes up with its axe and brings it down on top of the cloaked figure.
Oh, yes.
And this radiant energy just explodes from it and this light emanates.
Yes.
Properly the boss.
Store. You
Hell
are up.
yeah. Right.
Don't be a wuss. Don't be a wuss.
Like I have. Okay.
You might want to rephrase that a little bit because the intonation didn't quite get there.
Words are hard
That's my
for him
rephrase.
right now.
I decided that the monk was going to use her key point to get up even closer.
Oh, cool.
So.
Come with me.
You can't see her, so
Oh.
she's
Oh,
invisible.
right, she's invisible.
She's invisibrew.
Okay.
Invisibrew.
Invisibrew.
Wow, Lauren.
All right. Lauren,
Yes.
can I see from this distance any details about the figure standing by the tent?
The tent is actually blocking the
Oh,
figure.
God damn it. Do I know he's there?
Yes.
It's that tall, huh?
That pause.
Technically, you know that he was there. When you first got a look from the south
From a
side,
different
you
vantage
knew
point.
that he was up there. So you assume that he is still there when you guys came around to the north side.
Okay.
So you
What
know
is
that
the-
there were 4 figures up there.
What does the red figure look like from this
It's
distance?
also in a cloak. It's wearing a cloak also.
God damn it, all these damn cloaks.
How dare these evil people disguise themselves?
All right.
How they
I'm going to move as far as I can. Be about here. I'm going to take out my crossbow.
You could have gone farther if you're not doing an action,
Why?
Because you can
Oh.
use your action to move
Oh.
instead.
So, okay. So I did not take out my crossbow. I've still got
Okay.
my rapier and dagger.
So go ahead and move
Millennia?
yourself another 30 feet then. Pyru, it is now your turn.
All right. I'm within
Punch the
strike
fucker.
distance.
Okay.
I'm gonna
So-
attack.
So what you see, Pyru, since you're there, I describe it.
Okay.
You see a burly silver-born dragon with
Oh.
What?
black frills that make its appearance as if he has hair. He has piercing yellow eyes and thick horns that come out of his hind jaw. He has 2 large horns that curve and sleek back. He doesn't appear to be wearing any armor and has a dark
He's a
blue,
barbarian.
almost black cloak with an emblem on the back.
Do I know what the emblem is?
Roll a perception to see it because you're coming from the back side of it. So
Fuck. I see drapes.
Oh my god.
You and those perception rolls.
Oh my god.
High when I
So-
don't need it, low when it counts.
Yep.
Exactly.
So with a 5, you cannot tell, but you do know it is a white emblem of some kind, but he had
Hmm.
turned around just like he was at just enough of an angle that you can't see the image on the back of the cloak.
Mm.
Yeah, make it his fault.
You're pretty tall. He's almost the same height as you.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. I'm gonna yeah, I'm gonna hit it with my quarterstaff. I'm gonna try. 16.
When you do that, he
Uh-huh.
actually casts a spell
Oh God.
that your quarterstaff bounces off of.
What the?
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Not a barbarian.
Okay. Hmm.
No, you're fucked.
You're fucked.
You're fucked.
Hold on.
Because what I can do, he can't probably get rid of.
Well, I get my unarmed strike as a bonus action. Fuck.
Once again, like he doesn't even like he just kind of dodges off to the side as you try to attack with fists, and you actually completely miss him this time.
Okay, all right. It's my turn.
Then it's Whiskey, it's your turn.
Thank fucking God. I'll be in range, but I won't be able to do anything.
So Whiskey, that's all you could do. Brappy is going to cast this light that emanates from his hand and strikes towards that black cloak to the east. It does not hit though. It strikes right past the black cloak and misses. Daria, it is your turn.
All right. Dash. All right, that's my turn.
Next is Cloak's turn. He is going to throw a spear and hit Brappy.
Protect our child.
What?
This is older than us, actually.
Probably.
He's still our child. Okay, protect our father.
Your investment.
Well,
that's rude.
okay.
If Broppy dies, can we just leave?
Oh,
No.
Oh,
We're not
what?
gonna get paid.
My God, man.
my God.
I mean, technically.
That's what Storm's thinking in the
Wow.
deep,
Okay, so
the deep recesses of his mind.
this bugbear comes up right next to this spectral form, and in doing so, he gets hit by this radiant sword
Oh God.
and like gets slashed across, but it's still standing, but it almost fell to its knees. With this, it does another one of its attacks towards this bugbear and doesn't seem quite as effective. And after it's hit, its it only knocks it down, but not nearly as much as it did the last bugbear.
I get knocked down, but I get.
It's the monk's turn. The non-Pyru monk Tabaxi.
Yeah.
We just call Pyru the monk.
Hey.
She has no name.
Hey,
It's rude.
don't be monkist.
All right. and she moves that far
Oh wow.
with her double speed.
Run, jump.
80 movement.
Be back.
Woohoo! Next is actually this red cloaks, this dark cloaks.
Oh fuck.
Oh no.
The red shirt?
Shit.
Pyru.
Oh
There you go.
no.
This black cloak, and you see as she comes rushing at you, the
Shit.
hood. Yes, this hood comes off, and you see this elf.
What?
Elf's face come
How
at
dare
you. Oof. Does a 19 hit?
19, yeah, for sure.
Okay.
I only have 12.
Shoot.
Take
Yeah.
10 damage.
Fuck. Okay.
And at this point, like as she comes at you, she had looked at you, and you actually hear her say, "So, you've encountered him. Tell me where he is."
What?
Who are you talking about?
So, but now it is this guy, the Dragonborn, is going to just take 5 steps to the side.
Oh, boy.
What?
Hello.
Mhm.
Hello, sir.
And next
Boy, Pyru.
is Storm's turn.
All right, my turn. Okay, what do I see at the box area?
So, at the box area, since you do not have what you actually see, figures there, fiddling with what looks like a machine on a tripod. Very bulky.
Fuck.
Think
that.
like, you know Dr. Horrible, right?
Yes.
Think the freeze ray. So,
All right.
so
reference, by the
and
way.
you hear, thank you, and you hear it kind of whirling up,
Dear
like
God,
activating. So, but nothing has happened yet with it.
I
And it's
am.
pointed towards the west side of town. Pyru, just in your brief distance,
Mm-hmm.
you see a couple of the horseback, the cavaliers of Commander Milbar's team. You see some of them still mounted up and
Oh.
attacking the troops. Some of them have been dismounted, but you see them in the heat of battle. And
Okay.
there are some slews of bodies, mostly from the enemy side, but you do briefly see a couple of the guards or adventurers. You're not quite sure, but you do see some bodies of somewhat recognition on the
Oh.
ground, not moving.
Oh.
Yeah, whatever. This is.
Wow.
They obviously weren't main character material.
They're not books.
I
Wow.
told the I warned them that this is going to be a lot of casualties, but they seem pretty confident. So, I'm running right for the machine.
Okay.
The machine.
That echoed beautifully.
The machine. I mean, I guess my goal is to use. Okay. Would I be able to both kick the thing over and stab whoever's handling it?
You would have a disadvantage against the machine because there are the two figures there blocking it. Like that thing has very high cover because of it. So yeah, it's going to have a disadvantage, and technically it's going to have an AC to hit because of the cloaks being there.
Okay.
So you can try, or you can attack one of the cloaks to help.
I think I'd
Fine.
rather not do that and just attack both of them.
Okay.
So are they both setting it up? Like they're both
on one side of it, yes, towards the back end.
okay. Just trying to prioritize. Yeah, okay. I'll hit I don't know. I have my rapier in my right hand. So I'll hit the right one with my rapier.
And an 11 is not going to hit.
God, the hell. All right.
Those who are about to die, I salute you.
And then the other one, the dagger. Jesus.
This cloaked figure kind of twirls around, and he actually somehow seems to grab your hand, and you drop your dagger because he twisted your hand backwards a little bit.
Fucking ninjas.
So you drop your dagger.
No. Okay.
Next is Pyru.
Okay.
So you're up against this woman that just yelled at you, asking where he is.
Who are you talking about? Who is he? Are we playing the pronoun game?
Oh
That's what I'm thinking to myself.
Cat, no.
I ask her that.
Okay.
Are we playing the pronoun?
No,
game?
not that. I meant the first part.
Why not both?
Why not both?
Why not both?
I mean, if you want to make sure you're not playing the pronoun game, may as well.
Very important to be clear.
Because maybe you are, so you need to come up with really good pronouns.
You know very well who I'm talking about. You can never forget one of his kind.
Clearly.
Awkward.
Just racking my brain. Is she racist?
You can't forget one of those.
Excuse me, one of his kind? I'm still very confused. I mean, you stabbed me and now you're yelling at me.
Yeah, now's definitely the time for that.
I love you. I love you so much. Amazing.
Oh my god.
So what are you doing?
I'm waiting for a response. Who the hell is she talking about?
That's fair.
Well, I'm just saying, like, that would be a lot to say in a second or two. So
Okay.
Okay, so
Wait,
you
she's talking about
so
Broppy?
basically,
All right.
you said, "Who are you talking about?"
Yeah.
While internally screaming.
Internally screaming.
And you said, "Are we playing the pronoun game?"
Yeah.
That was the very important part. You can't
Would
forget.
Best part. What are you fucking talking about?
Would I know who she's talking about in these loose terms?
You cannot make any connection about who she's talking to.
Yeah, I mean, there's too many people I've met for that to be any kind of helpful. I guess I'll just attack her ass. 19.
Very nice.
Shit.
Finally, someone.
Can I knock her
So-
unconscious? I mean, my weapons are bludgeoning.
Yeah, but you can try. Yeah.
But it hits?
Yes, it does. You
Okay.
come across and you hit her right on her left shoulder.
Cool.
Break that shit.
And with that attack, as you like bring back like your full force, like, I don't know who the fuck you're talking about. You like, like smack her down. She doesn't seem phased.
Oh.
Creepy.
Huh. Okay. I'm gonna use a key point and do flurry of blows and do 2 unarmed strikes. That hits.
23 hits. And the 13 does not. As you try and come with your third attack, she easily dodges it this time. Next is Whiskey's turn.
Oh boy. Don't hate me, but someone's got to do something. Dad, I hope this works. Okay, DM.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to cast Darkness.
Oh my god. Why? Oh no.
I am uninvisible. That takes concentration. If anything hits me, it's down. Or I could drop it whenever I want.
Okay. So the two cloaked figures, this weapon, and Storm are covered with darkness
Joy.
as Whiskey
Second level.
casts this spell. And in doing so, we are going to end the night there.
Ooh.
I don't want to end in darkness.
Yeah, you can step
Hello,
backwards and you'll be
darkness, my
fine.
friend.
With that, thank you everyone for joining us tonight for our episode 9 of Boobsn'Blades.
Whoop, whoop.
Just one.
Have a good night, everyone.
Happy one.
Woo!
Right now, I can't do anything that flies or swims, which, let me tell you, is getting to me because I like water and it sucks.
When it happens, and I'll explain. So,
I think it has to do with something that I have that I don't know I have.
yes, pretty much.
Cool.
Storm, you mentioned you wanted to buy something really quick.
No, I was joking. I was.
Oh.
Okay.
Fuck you.
Because we need nothing more
I thought-
than another
I
shot.
thought you heard me
Episode.
say. No, I'm just kidding.
No one likes Kay.
Aw.
Too preppy.
Too preppy.
Hey, I
Storm likes Kay.
liked her.
Storm likes anything that can move.
I thought you were gonna say
I-
anything that
I-
had boots, but
I
Yeah.
more just like that she talked to me.
She noticed you.
Yeah.
I would have liked if she hadn't talked to me.
and the other tabaxi, which I seem to have misplaced her
How
card.
do you misplace a tabaxi? Oh, wait. No, I thought you misplaced her entirely, not her card. Oh, okay. That makes more sense.
She's dead. She's
She's
gone.
dead. She died. A
Is
mimic
Pyro
has
like-
Cards. One
Is
sec.
Pyro dead? Because Pyro's still back there.
Oh.
The fuck was that?
the fuck was that?
My bad.
There we go.
Harry, what are you
I didn't
doing back there?
That didn't sound sexual at all.
No, not
Well, I think we
No
found
time
where the
for it.
other two tabaxi were.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
They all accidentally kick a rock.
What?
Shit.
They all kick a rock? Like,
What
They,
They
they all like
roll.
a rock and a twig.
There's an
Like
assortment of
where?
items right there. We all take our pick and kick one.
Are they just going around and banging
Okay.
a
These
cymbal?
guys would be.
We are
a little
attempting
further
to
away.
invent soccer.
Is that the box thingy? Or is that over there?
Yep,
And this is a bad guy.
that's a tent. Yes.
Well, not the tent, the person.
Yes.
yes, that's a box cat.
That
All right. So the goblin next to the rogue hits the goblin with his axe. Catches her on the side.
You
She's
just said
still-
the goblin hits the goblin.
The goblin hits the rogue. Did I really say goblin hit the goblin?
Yes,
Yeah.
the goblin
Yeah.
goblin.
You said the goblin
Goblin,
next to the
goblin,
rogue
goblin,
hits the goblin.
Goblin.
As soon as I come in contact with one, I'm ripping the hood off.
Okay.
Watch it
That's
be
not very
Voldemort.
nice.
Watch it be Voldemort, and you're like, ah!
No, put that back on.
it's ugly.
Okay.
And
Come at me, bro.
Sick.
I like to think that
Me one
Pyro
moment.
is like inwardly as ghetto as like what did you say earlier? Sup,
Oh, I can't.
she said sup peeps.
Oh yeah.
That would make me happy.
But on the outside she's just like hello.
totally putting on a fake accent here.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. That's a backstory. She's like from the